So take your left hand and place it on your heart, your right hand on your lower belly, and feel the connection between your wisdom and your creativity, between what you know and between what you know and what longs to be expressed through you. Tonight, we explore one of the greatest challenges many women face, and that is speaking our truth. This entire month, we've been focused on creativity and bringing that forward. And when we think about what does it take to truly speak our truth out there in the world, what does it take for us to truly share our gifts? What does it truly take to allow ourselves to be seen out in the world? Now, many women spend years silencing themselves in order to belong, in order to fit in order to not be ostracized or thought to be too much. Okay? But tonight I'm offering you the invitation to remember that your voice was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to be heard and it was meant to be shared. So here's our opening affirmation. Take a deep breath and you can repeat after me. My voice matters. My truth matters. My creativity matters. I release the fear of being seen and heard. I trust my sacred expression. How did that feel to say that to yourself? Did that feel good? Did that feel right? Is that a message you needed to hear? Or is it a message you're already living? I hope it's one you're already living, truthfully. So here we go. Now, tonight's womb whisper, we have a womb whisper every week. And this is what my womb wants to whisper to yours. The world does not need another copy of someone else. It needs your voice, not the polished version where you sound all, professional and whatever. Because we're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for the perfected version of you. We're looking for the true version of you, the version that only you know and that only you can offer. Now, we all know that, as I started to say before, most women are not born afraid to express themselves. When you think of the exuberance of young female children, they are not quiet. They are not shrinking back. They are going full force. And sometimes they're loud and sometimes they can express themselves in a variety of ways that sometimes you look at them like, okay now. But that need or that inclination to shrink away from expressing yourself is not innate in women. It is learned. Because some women are told that they talk too much. I was told all the time that I talk too much, and couldn't somebody make me be quiet? And to date, nobody really has done that. But uh, when people are trying to silence you, even if you don't shut up, you feel it. You feel that dampening energy around you of people who just wish you'd be a little more quiet, maybe be a little bit more hidden, maybe a little less yourself, maybe just go off in the corner someplace where they don't have to deal with you, your intellect, your questions, your curiosity, where you don't have to be dealt with at all. and it teaches you to silence yourself. And so, even years later, sometimes you'll hear that voice in your head that's like, can't you be quiet? And you'll silence yourself, even as a grown adult woman years later. Okay. And then there are many women who are just ignored so that they lose that feeling of having a valuable voice, of having something valuable to say, of being someone who should be noticed and for people to be aware of. Okay, they get criticized into silence, where everything that they say, no matter how they say it, no matter how brilliant they are, there's always someone there to tell them, "Shh, be quiet. We don't need that from you." Okay. And some women just learn to be inauthentic and fake. They learn to fashion their voice into whatever it is that they knew people wanted to hear rather than what it is that they wanted to say. And it's not because they didn't have things to say, but silence or compliance became much safer, much easier. They didn't have to, fight to be heard anymore because they weren't even saying anything that they really cared if anybody listened or not. And the truth of the matter is, the tragedy of the matter is that when we silence our voice, we silence something so important to us, which is our creativity. The two hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And we find a mask to hide behind. Okay? The good girl is our first mask, where we retreat because we don't want to upset anybody. And we don't want to, we don't want to rock the boat because to do so creates so much tension and stress in our life. The second mask is the perfectionist who waits until it gets it just right before they'll say anything. And they won't say anything that they don't feel is perfect. And I know for myself, I fell into that trap when I was writing my first book, when I was afraid to put it out there in the world because I knew it wasn't perfect. And you know what? It's been published and it still is not perfect. I could still go back and rewrite that book one more time. But the important thing is not for anything to be perfect because perfect is an illusion. There is no such thing as perfection, but that I had to learn how to please myself instead of falling into perfectionism and the next mask, which is the people pleaser. I'll say whatever it is that people want to hear just so that I can be accepted and that I can belong. And this is another trap of inauthenticity that we want to avoid. And it goes along with the next mask, the imposter. And the person who feels like, well, even if I have something valuable to share, and people have not really gotten me to be silent because I didn't have anything to share. But who am I to be sharing such a big message? Whatever that message is, it's a big message, right? So, who am I to be sharing that? Who am I to be saying anything? Because I've been kind of beaten down from either society or family or maybe it's even my career, the type of profession that I have that says what you have to offer really doesn't matter. Okay. And the final trap is the invisible woman. No one wants to hear from me anyway. Every time I try to say something, nobody's listening. There's nobody there. And there's nobody who cares if I have something to say or not. And, this can really come from having had a lot of critique or criticism or being ignored from the time that you're young. This can be a really heavy load to carry when you don't believe that there's anybody there for you anybody who wants to listen, or anybody who cares. So you just allow yourself to be invisible and say nothing for fear that those around you will reject you. And even if these masks work for a while, right? Eventually, every mask becomes a prison. Because when you are not being your authentic self, putting your authentic voice out in the world, okay, whatever mask you have adopted becomes a trap because it's not the real you. So just remember that your voice, whatever it is, whether you're soft spoken or you're loud and boisterous, whatever it is you have to talk about, whatever your subject matter is that you feel you want to bring out into the world, however you want to express it through uh, not just talking, but writing, singing, dancing. These are all parts of your voice that you want to bring out into the world because it is your truth about the world, right? So remember that even if you are a performer, your voice is not a performance. It is a sacred instrument. Its purpose is not perfection, its purpose is truth, speaking your own truth into the world. So now let's take a deep breath. And another. And let's talk about seeking approval. Approval asks, will they like me? But authenticity asks, is this true? Is this my truth that I'm expressing? Approval asks, will they agree? Authenticity asks, does this honor my soul? Approval keeps us performing. Authenticity allows us to create. And many women spend years chasing approval and wondering why they feel so disconnected. Okay? Because your soul was never designed to seek approval, it was designed to speak and to seek truth. That's what your soul thrives on, your own personal truth. And there have been plenty of times in my life when um, speaking my truth was hard for me. Okay. As I said, when I was trying to bring out my first book, it took me 20 years to publish because I was seeking perfection. And since perfection doesn't exist, I never got there. But I did eventually publish a book that went on to garner me favorite new author, um, an award, an Emma Award for that, and to launch a career that was very successful and satisfying for me when I was there. And when I was there and I was writing, and I now have a new um, writing pursuit, creating compilation books and editing them. And my fourth one will be coming out soon called I'm Every Woman. It'll be out in October. So, however it is that you decide you want to express your voice, okay, um, you really have to pluck up your courage and just do it. Just allow your voice to be heard, even if you don't think anybody else is listening. That's what I was feeling with my first book. Nobody's going to get this. Nobody's going to get me. Nobody's going to get what I'm trying to do um, with what I'm writing. But that was very, very far from the truth. And the only way I really knew that was the truth was to actually put my work out there and allow other people to come into my realm and see what I was doing. Okay. It takes courage to express ourselves because we have to deal with all those many different fears that will crop up for us. Those many different masks we're used to wearing that we have to shed in order to speak our truth. Okay. So now this week, let's have a little practice. Each day, I want you to wake up and answer these questions for yourself. What I really want to say is, and then write without stopping, draw without stopping, okay? Sing if that's your thing, right? Without stopping, without judging yourself, without making any commentary in your head, without the inner critique, without fixing, and without judging. And allow your authentic voice to emerge, whatever form that takes. Okay. And don't worry about whether it sounds right or whether it sounds beautiful or whether you put the comma in the right place or whether there's too many brush strokes or anything else. Truth should come before polish because the pencil, yeah, it has an eraser. Okay. Um, we have the joy of writing things down with computers now that you can just cut and paste and fix things how you like. When I first started writing, it was on a typewriter, and heaven help you if you made a mistake. Okay. So let's go into our meditation for a minute. Let's close our eyes and take a deep, slow breath. Let's put our hands on our throat. Okay. Even though I look like I'm choking myself here, I'm not. Um, I really want to put my hands on my throat because here is the throat chakra in this area. And that is the energy of communication. It's the area of intention. It's just why when we have affirmations, we speak them because this energy helps us connect with what we're saying, with what our intentions are, right? With the rest of our energy. Okay. So place a hand on your throat. I'm gonna actually switch hands. My I like my left side, my feminine side energy for this. Okay. And imagine for a moment a beautiful turquoise light glowing at your throat underneath your hand. You may not be able to see it with your eyes closed, but you can feel it or you can see it in your mind's eye. This beautiful turquoise glow, this energy, this vibrancy that is here at your throat. Okay. And imagine a warm ruby red light glowing within your womb. And the throat and the womb make a beautiful pair. Creativity at the womb and expression at the throat. Now see a bridge of light connecting them. It can be any color. It could be turquoise, it could be red, it can be a combination, it could be golden, it could be any color. It could be just a silver thread between the throat and the womb. So you want to create a connection between your creativity, your voice, and allow that energy to just fill you up for a moment. Now imagine yourself standing beside a flowing river. The water is clear. The water represents your authentic expression. Notice where the river flows easily. Notice where it feels blocked. Now ask yourself, what truth have I been afraid to express? Take a moment to pause, to listen, and to receive wisdom from yourself. No judgment, no critique. Just simply witness the answer that you receive. Now imagine the river growing stronger and stronger, and the water begins to move much more freely. Any blockages dissolve. Allow the current to carry away fear, doubt, shame, old expectations, anything that is in your river blocking its free flow. Allow the river to flow. Allow your voice to flow. Allow your creativity to flow. And repeat silently to yourself, I trust my voice. I trust my truth. I trust my creativity. I allow myself to be seen. I allow myself to be heard. I allow myself to express what is sacred within me. Now take a deep breath all the way into the belly and release, feeling the river continuing to flow as we slowly return. And now for our reflection questions. Where am I still censoring myself? What truth wants to be expressed through me? What part of my authentic voice am I ready to reclaim? Those are our 3 questions for tonight. And just remember, every song has its own melody, every flower has its own fragrance, every river has its own path, and every woman, every single woman has her own voice. And your purpose is not to sound like anyone else. Your purpose is not to create like anyone else. Your purpose is not to be or live like anybody else. Your purpose is to become more fully yourself. So, as we close, goddesses, I offer you this final blessing. May your voice gently grow stronger with every truth you speak. May your creativity flow more freely with every fear you release. May you trust the wisdom that lives within you. May you honor the sacred expression that only you can offer. And may you remember, the world does not need your perfection. It needs your presence. It needs your wisdom. It needs your voice. And until next Wednesday, stay radiant, stay expressive, stay true to the song your soul came here to sing. And next week, we're going to be talking about birthing your next chapter. Think about that. What does the next chapter of your life look like for you? And until next time, I am Dee Savoy, your goddess whisperer, and we will talk next week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.